Bournemouth, in fact, were in a car crash during this week, and Bobby Hubert, who was going to play fullback, was also in that car. They rolled it on the way to practice, so sadly for them, for Bobby Hubert, he's not playing in this game, but the other two are. And on the replacement bench, we'll see Jerris Nicholas and Driscoll's down at the bottom there. He's number 22. He'll actually come on with a 23 jersey if he does come on. And the Griffons have got their last 4 players from 19 to 22 have not played a game for the Griffons as of yet. Young Leon van Niekerk only played Craven Week rugby just last year. So a few people sitting out in the sun on the open stand. As I said, it's a nice warm day here. There's no wind to speak of. And Joe Bierkes leads out the purple people eaters, as they call them. And Joe Bierkes, 34 years of age, and according to his coach, playing some of the best rugby of his career. That's wonderful to see. There he is. Much travelled man as well. Played 95 games for the Free State. Also played for the Leopards and the Pumas. And we're just waiting now for the local team. Will be led out by Captain Charles Blom, who previously played for the Griffons as well. Schooled down in Bloemfontein. Also a Grey College man. So there he is, young scrum half, who's also got a big role to play today, along with Ruan Nel, who's a fairly experienced player, having played for the Lions as well. So a lot of players that have been around. Jaco Kutsia in picture there is also 33 years of age, played 141 games for Free State, and he's an absolute powerhouse. I think the sort of game today is going to suit him. They're the coaches, Eugene van Wyk, and on the left, Willie Meyer, who's farms at Creersdrift Dam, which is about 100 kilometers from here, I think. And good to see that he's still involved as well, and he finds a bit of time away from dairy and stud farming. And Mark Lawrence from Mpumalanga is our referee. So, Andrew Patterson, today, that's a big game. You were chatting to the coaches. There's a lot at stake today in these qualifying matches.
Yes, Gavin, survival, it's all about winning. I think both of their jobs would seriously be under the knife if they lose. But I think a conservative game. I don't think it's going to be very expansive. And I'll be looking forward to an exciting 80 minutes of rugby.
So, change of direction there from Ruan Nel. Playing fullback today, that's a big boot, that from Louis Staden, who Eric Herbert, who's the manager of the Griffons team, was saying that he's just such a good kicker, this guy that's playing at fullback today. Normally a fly half, but the fly half role today goes to Isak Job, the 23-year-old man from Willowmore. Griquas starting with a short line out. Well, the one thing the Griquas team, I fancy, will want to do is really try and create some expansion and try and tire out this big pack of Griffons forwards. We've got Frans Boertes at tight head, who's 123 kilograms. Bit of pressure ball there for Griquas. They come away with it quite nicely. So that was Ruan Nel. This is Louis Staden. So nice to see a man just getting those good torpedo kicks going. You know, so often we've seen during the Super 12, the ball has gone, and we often use the term vurvur, but that's when it doesn't really torpedo nicely.
Yes, you see the Griquas player just hanging on to that ball a bit long, and the referee penalised him correctly there.
Griffons following the same route as Griquas with a short line out. It's Isak Job trying to find a bit of space. JP Hubert is in at scrum half with him today. Hubert. Some very big forwards. That's Henry Rearders, who's playing for his 5th province. Certainly has been around. Job looking inside, and lovely running this. He has a chance. Well, the pass going astray eventually, from Johan Karlitz. Griquas moving it confidently from their own line. This is excellent play by them. Now this man's got pace, Colin Lloyd. Lovely step inside, taken up there by Philip van Schalkwyk. Again, it's Philip van Schalkwyk. Griquas have got plenty of men down the back line. Back inside they come. Well, Mark Lawrence has spotted and in fact was allowing advantage for a while. Colin Lloyd's down, I think, at the moment, so there'll be a little hold up.
A superb passage of play by the Griqua backline, making the intentions early known, and really had a long sortie from their own 25, and luckily coming away with a penalty. But Gavin really stretching that big Griffin pack and looking very dangerous.
That's Patrick Peterson, just getting the Griquas team into a good position here from the line out. It'll be interesting to see just what they decide to do, whether it'll be a short line out. This is Lloyd coming down the left wing, stepped inside, and then just after that pass fell quite heavily. Struggling with an ankle injury, I think. But Griquas eventually get over. Lovely drive upfield from them.
Yes, Race will be very happy with that. Superb try there by the Griquas front rower. Most important, good line-out ball. They got the momentum going early. The Griffons battled to regroup. Looked bad body position. They weren't in the... they didn't confront that sort of moving mass, and it looked like the hooker, Louis Loupshu, went over there. We'll have to just check. No, I beg your pardon, it wasn't. It was Lucky van Staden. He was lucky with a good try there. Well worked, and I'm surprised they went for the penalty, but it paid off with a good try.
So Ruan Nel now with the attempted conversion. And not his best kick, but he's got it over.
Yes, they got the ball going forward very well, and Lucky van Staden going over for a superb try. And this Griquas veteran has been playing them for about his 5th season. Also plays for the Defence Force local team. Good try in a vital game like today.
Well, Colin Lloyd's going to kick himself there for not protecting the touchline. The Griffons have gained a lot of territory with that kickoff. Lloyd was standing too flat. Griquas of the throw-in from Louis Loupshu.
No advantage, pulling it down. Yeah.
Disruption in the line-out from the Griffons.
Come on. Settle down there, I'll turn it around.
Well, Joe Bierkes is going to want to have a chat to his forwards. Just want to try and keep the penalty count down. Well, both teams have got to do that, particularly Griquas with Louis Staden, the Griffons fullback, who's a very accurate goal kicker.
It's quite strange. I think many of Joe Bierkes' 95 games were with the 8th man, Jaco Coetzee, and interesting to see the two real stalwarts playing against each other.
There's a lot of stalwarts in the game today, but there's also a lot of youth, and it's good to see. Griquas operating well as a pack unit, and really I think the Griffons are having to turn and go back, which they're not enjoying, that big pack of theirs. This time Lloyd coming in field, and some lovely pick up and goes from the Griquas team. Another take up there from Cobus Grobelaar. Griquas have got Ludie van Straten. You would have seen him there. He's tallest man on the field, just over 2 meters, playing in the center position. But at the moment, the Griffons are quite hard pressed in terms of making tackles. Don't be Tehran taking it upfield. Well, this time it's Joe Griquas, who was not in an offside position, says the referee. But Griquas was controlling the ball through the phases. A lot of possession going their way. And just, I fancy Andrew as well. They're doing the basics so well. Well, they did up until then.
Off me.
Good play by the Griquas, but the ball was too slow for them really to do anything. Became a bit pedestrian, but as you mentioned, good discipline, basics well. But that rock line of defense by the Griffons team just really not letting the Griquas players going through. I'd like to see him line a little bit deeper, quicker loose ball, and staying on their feet a bit longer.
It's one of the dangers of getting a surfeit of possession, isn't it? Sometimes you become stereotyped. The important thing is to keep the possession.
Our first scrum of the match, Dirkie Groenewald and Frans Boot as two real veterans of the front row.
Playing today for the Griquas, for the Griffons rather. And Andrew, you would have played a fair bit of rugby against Dirkie Groenewald when he was playing with Dougie Heymans, and technically they were very good scrummages, weren't they?
Oh, without a doubt. I think those are the two technical guys with Tommy Loubser, unbelievably strong in the front, and I'm sure they'll be having a real battle there today.
Well, interestingly enough, despite their abilities, neither of them played for their country.
Come up.
And I know a lot of people said that Dougie Heymans was particularly unlucky. He was still playing at the age of 38, I think.
So with Dougie Heymans, he only realised, I think, a couple of years ago that he was scrumming with 1 foot, and that if he scrummed with 2, he could actually be quite a bit stronger.
Look on that bind as well. On the body, go in.
Oh, I'm not quite sure what we're waiting for at the moment.
Come on.
Everybody's out there. The referee's given the signal.
Fine, just crouch and hold only. Inga! Steady now, get the bind through. Advantage.
The wheel of the scrum there just put a bit of pressure on the Griffons, but they've come away with it nicely. It was Enrico Swart on the right wing. And then downfield again from Louis Staden.
Number 1 stepping around.
At penalties against Rudy Durant, former Blue Bull, who's playing at Loosehead today for Griquas.
You guys.
Well, there's another example of a booming torpedo kick down the touchline.
Gavin, you were lefty as well. It just seems his timing looks very good, well balanced. Here we see the scrum. It wasn't a good scrum, and the scrum off. JP could Hubert just getting out of really a difficult situation there.
Andries van der Linden with a throw in, the man from Swaziland.
Off goal, scrum down.
Big hooker, 120 kilograms. I don't think you quite got up to that, did you?
No, not even with a push. No, big guys like that, even they lean on you, it's hard work there. But I think he could trim down a bit, I'm sure, to at least 112, but really heavy in the front row, and most importantly that they get good ball. And there we see good scrum by the Griffons.
Oh, we saw the pack weights there as well, so not a massive difference between the two. Griquas have got a bit of a slight advantage. Now, this is clever play, this by Griquas in the form of Charles Blom. Knows his former teammates. That's Rudy Durant. Good work by him, and then taken up as well by Loubser. Ruan Nel. Also the torpedo. So again, it's what you were chatting about prior to the game, Andrew. You said we might see a lot of probing kicks towards the corner flag, and that vying for territory, and then using the pack of forwards as best as you can to drive the ball up. Now remembering, of course, that these are the qualifying matches, so of the 8 teams that are playing, and 2 of them played last night, the Leopards and the Bulldogs. Of the 8, 2 of them go up to the Premier Division of the Currie Cup. So there's a lot to play for.
I think, Gavin, financially for unions like the Griquas and the Griffons, it's all the investments for the union, sponsors, there are a lot of types, and we can't underestimate the importance of Currie Cup teams playing in small unions like this. Very, very important.
Oh, it's almost a make or break situation for a lot of them. But I must say that the Griquas pack have looked very impressive as a unit this afternoon. Ludie van Staden taking it up, former Italian. Again, good work here by Griquas. Look at the support play from them, and through they go. Second try that for Griquas.
A very good play. They got the momentum going with a pick up and drive, broke blind. There we see it, the momentum was there. Staying on his feet, and just look at all those supporters coming through. And really, when you got quick ball, the momentum's going, very, very difficult to defend. And hats off to the pack of Griquas. They really did well there. At stages they've been over driving, but they got the quick ball, and what a pleasure for the scrum off.
That's a better strike that from Ruan Nel to get that conversion.
Oh, did very, very well. The little offload with one hand. And the big man, Jaco Kutsia, really unstoppable 5 meters from the line. And one of the Griquas players been pulled there without the ball, but Kutsia was over already.
Well, the Griffons, just 1 or 2 basic errors. They're missing a tackle. I must say, this Griquas team have looked very well drilled in these first 10-15 minutes of this game.
Yes, I must agree with you. They look a lot sharper, and the pack really is climbing in at the moment against this highly rated Griffon pack. And at the moment, Griquas have really, really done well.
Well, that's good work by the Griffons in the line out, but the drive has come to naught at the moment, but they'll look to try and get it going again. Again, if they can just keep possession as well. And then I think as we say that, they looking to try and play down in this part of the field, but if they're going to get chased back like that, back into their own territory, that's really not exactly exciting for a big pack of forwards.
This wasn't a kick by Isak Job. No pressure on him, and they basically back 10 meters behind where Job kicked the ball.
Van der Linden, great effort that from the Griquas players initially. Now they find themselves under a bit of pressure. This is Patrick Peterson.
Yes, Patrick from the Western Cape, originally played for Northern Avonwood. Utility back, played in the Vodacom team for the last couple of years at various positions, and coming out this afternoon at fullback. Useful player. I think consistency has been a big problem with him, and he'll be looking for a solid performance this afternoon.
Again, it's a tap down from Griquas. So they're showing a lot of competition in the lineouts, but somehow they've got to try and control those taps a little bit better. Plenty of space here for Job. Over the top it goes, and there's extra players alongside. Now suddenly it's the Griffons looking really sharp, but that knock on there, they'll come back for a scrummage.
Isak Job did so well, broke through the line, and just a poor finish, which was a definite try. There were 3 men on the outside. I felt he should have gone out, but came inside. There we see it again. Job did very well. Look at good communication. Look how nasty his backline came up. The lob pass, and coming through, and just not good play. And these are the mistakes in a game like this will just catch up with you towards the end.
Bound is off. Both shoulders off. Rock.
Griquas again looking sharp. Running it up from their 22. And it was little Charles Blom that was caught with ball in hand. So Philip van Schalkwyk just gets a little talking to there by the referee.
Both the arms off the back. Ball is out. Okay.
There was a dangerous tackle around his neck. There we see it there. And almost like spearing him into the ground. Very, very dangerous tackle. And that to me is yellow card material. A guy like that has to go. Oh, very, very dangerous that. That's where I believe linesmen should also be involved as well. You've got 6 pairs of eyes on the field.
Oh, we can see from that angle there as well, and that shot of ours from our cameramen, that was indeed very, very dangerous. Now, Lawrence van der Merwe is on this side as the TJ. Louis Mazomba on the other side. Now, that kick hasn't gone out. Staden, chip and chase. And the mark was taken by Charles Blom. Good early call from him and clever play by the little scrum half. It really looks like Griquas have been doing a lot of practicing with pick up and drive. Done it so well. A little bit of space for them for Jeffrey Stevens. A first run for him, and it bounces in field. The Griffons in all sorts of trouble. Stevens right up there, the Griquas players getting their numbers. And they've taken it away. Can they get it over? Well, let's just wait to see whether Mark Lawrence's want to have a look at upstairs. Ari Squinwinkel is our TMO.
There. I want you to grab this ball. If it's not a try, back for the penalty.
Do we see it? Big question with slow motions. Did his hand make contact with the ball on the ground together simultaneously? We see it here. Looked like from this angle, Gavin, that wasn't the case.
Yes, I've got you, Ari.
Let's just wait and see. Well, he's already made his call.
They lost the
A
ball.
vital opportunity for the Griquas at this stage of the game.
Yeah, but they're going to get a penalty now, Andrew.
Squeeze ball. Man lying on top, preventing the quick play. Penalty over here. All right? No try. Knock on there.
So in some ways, well, Griquas just decided to take it very quickly.
All right. Yep.
The element of surprise is now gone. But Griquas are going to take it up with their pack of forwards.
Don't bind till he makes contact, please.
Beautiful take. Great unit. Excellent play. Try time for Griquas.
All right.
The Griquas packs really setting the game on fire this afternoon. Bad coordination and defense from the Griffons. They weren't well lined up. A couple of guys had a false start. They were busy on the way back, and that was good play by the Griquas players while they were still going back. They took it and they just went over for a really easy try. I don't think you'll score an easier try in a game of rugby. Well done. Just look, body position. Guys weren't committed, and that doesn't spell too good for this Griffons team.
Well, this time the conversion is not there, but it's a commanding lead that Griquas have right now in the first 20 minutes, the first quarter of this match. 3 tries they've got, and this is the third one. Beautifully constructed, and really, it's hard to stop a unit that's been operating so well in these first 20 minutes and operating together. High ball that from Louis Staden right into the sun.
Rack form.
Charles Blom's kick deep downfield, and it's Malcolm Milan, who's one of the smaller guys on the field, who's unable to take it.
This Griquas captain, Charles Blom, has really impressed me. He played for the Renegades last year, whereas at the Cats trials, he's been a live wire this afternoon. He's managed the team very, very well, and he's really thriving behind this dominating pack.
And so is Jaco Kutsia, just loving the opportunity to take the ball up. They're getting across the advantage line, Griquas, and that's what's posing so many problems, one feels, for the Griffons. Haven't really had their hand on the ball, but they've had to tackle back most of the time. Well, now they've gone and lost it. So the foragers are there. Initially good work that from Lucky van Straten. And then it's Rudy Durant.
Let it go, Blue.
This is turnover. Well played by the Griffons. Oh, the players all thought the ball was out into touch.
It is over-elaboration of the pick-up and drive. Gerard Nicholas did so well to secure that ball, and those Griquas players just overdoing it. Beg your pardon, Gerard is actually on the bench at the moment. Was the other wing, Colin Lloyd. They do look the same. And just over-elaboration of the pick-up and drive, and another basic error from the Griquas. And we said, Griquas score just right off sides, and the referee picking that up. Angelo Swart really got a bit of a weight problem at the moment. He's at the centre. We've got a formidable guy in the back row. He must be at least 110 kilograms.
What do you want, Blue? There's like a scrum. Go. Crouch and hold. Engage. Come up again. Crouch and hold.
Oh, this time it's a free kick to the Griffons. Well, just all a little bit messy from behind the advantage line, but they've really picked it up nicely. Taken up by Malcolm Milan.
Advantage.
And again, the Griffons, who desperately need a score. Is it going to come? He has a chance for them. Over they go. Try time, that is, to Joe Griquas.
Number 7, through the gate, please. 7.
It hits it again. Superb break by the scrum of JP Yabere. The big feed into the big prop, and it looked like Slung Roo just crashing over for a great try.
Yeah, it was Slung Roo and not Joe Griquas, but some lovely work upfield there, and Slung Roo, well, no one was going to stop him.
The big factor with Slung Roo, they were in the channel very well, just off the shoulder, and as each pass went, so there was another support player. Good depth, good channel running, and a vital try by the Griquas, who actually haven't had a good first quarter.
Well, it was taken up from behind the advantage line too, but they probed the space out wide, Andrew, which, you know, they said that they were going to play it very tight today, but it's good to see that they, when the opportunity has arisen, they've actually used the width of the field as well. Oh, that's off the right-hand upright from Louis Staden, who, as we said a bit earlier, Eric Herbert really rates very highly. And, well, he's got a long way to go to catch up with Eric Herbert, who scored over He's got a national record, 2,612 points in 205 games. So outstanding effort for a man that also never played for his country. Well, Griquas not getting the kickoff right, so they're going to come back to the halfway line for the scrum down. That ball going into touch in goal. Of course, you have that choice, as you heard from the referee there. You can kick again, get them to kick again, or you can take the scrum. It's not really a great option, that, though, is it, if you think about it, because, really, the scrum in the middle of the field is the answer. You know you've got possession, you're not going to lose it, and you've got some attacking options like they've got right now, the Griffons. Infield they come in the form of Enrico Swartz. They've got support, couldn't get the pass forward, but he's done it now, and they've got a try. So 2 tries in the space of 2 minutes, which are absolutely critical to the Griffons getting back into this game.
Looked like Henry Reeder, the former Puma player. He's now playing for the Griffons, was in Bloemfontein last year. Superb try, and they've really come alive the last 5 minutes. There we see it, lovely little blindside move. Just look at the superb sidestepping by Louis Staden. Came off his feet so well, and some good running again here. Kept the ball, the little pop-up through, and Henry Reeder really unstoppable. Nice low body position, just playing two Griquas players back with him that tried to defend him, and Gavin, the Griquas are really, the Griffons in the last couple of minutes have really shown their intent. They just lifted the level of their play substantially.
Well, in both cases they've scored from depth as well, you know, in their own half of the field, taken it upfield, and really just controlled it well. Two points from Staden means that they're trailing by just those 7 points right now. There you can see from depth they came. Beautiful running by Staden, who has the benefit of having played in the fly half position. And we say the benefit because often you've got the feel in situations like that. And then Henry Reeder, really good body position. Bearing in mind he's a big fellow as well. He's 105 kilograms on the flank. The Griffons going a little bit against what we thought they were going to do, but of course they were looking for the man who's got the booming boot, and he was on the far side of the field, and he's taken them right up to the halfway line.
Well, if Eric Herbert pays you a compliment to say that you can kick a ball, you can kick a ball, and Louis Staden was just striking the ball so beautifully this afternoon. Nothing under 50 meters per kick, and again you've seen a real boomer.
Both teams using the ploy of short lineouts. That was well picked up by Mark Lawrence. Ball just knocked down by Griquas. So they had a really good passage of play, Griquas, didn't they? And it just gone off the boil a little bit right now.
Right, hold. Wait for the ball. Holding only. Engage.
We need to bear in mind that bonus points are important as well in matches like this. We've got the same system as what we had in the Super 12, where 4 tries gives you a bonus point, or a loss by less than 7 points. And of course a win is 4 points. Good skills that from Joe Bierkes. JP Hubert was waiting for it, didn't realize it had come out. I just feel that, Andrew, the control from the Griffons pack in terms of delivery has not quite been what it's been from Griquas, despite the 2 tries that they've scored.
Well, the communication hasn't been there at all, and scrum off was busy talking to the referee, and the ball was right behind him. The Charles Blom for me has been the real master here today.
Crouch and hold. Don't bind through, all right? On your body. You guys are going too early.
Well, I suppose, you know, he's playing against his own teammates, his older teammates, should I say. Well, just look at that. Good scrum that by Griquas. Hubert tosses it forward, so the referee will wait for advantage. Over the top it goes. That's an excellent kick that from Blom, but it worked for Staden to do. He's on his favoured left foot.
Come on, go! Come on! Thank you.
Louis Staden, good players, just seem to have that extra couple of seconds. And there was a perfect example. Just came off his feet again, very elusive. Just pumped that ball downfield.
You go and help him, but we're playing on. We're not breaking. I'll help him.
Let's go, Johnny.
Come on.
Johnny.
Earlier this month in the Vodacom Cup, Griquas beat the Griffons by 36 to 22, so they have a lot of confidence here today. Also, they're on their home field. Nice strong work there for Neil Swat. Nell back inside. Jaco Kutsia being used as a battering ram on many occasions. This time it's Dane Pietron, former Blue Bull. And they certainly are going at pace. That's Ludie van Staden. And being a tall man, he's able to stay on his feet for some distance. Good quality possession taken by Rudy Durant. Interplay by Griquas has been excellent, but the referee says that that last pass was forward.
That's a knock. Not the other one. That's a knock. You put your hands on the ball, they can play. Ball is out. In fact, the ball is lying in here. You put your hands on it, let it
Well, Neil Swat was hoping that he was going to get a little run in. Man from Zastron.
Time out. One down.
For the first time, Griquas just not getting that coordination around the loose balls nice and clean and clinical, and the ball just going forward. I think it's important for the Griquas guys. They must either clean up or stand out, and there was a lot of guys 50-50, half in, half out, and as a result, Griffons get the ball.
I just wondered about that scrum as well. You saw Mark Lawrence put his arms up and say play on, but I really did think that Charles Blom had maybe knocked it on a little bit earlier in that move. Well, doesn't really matter right now because the Griffons have still got the put in. And it's JP Joubert who's finding it increasingly difficult there. Isak Job as well. Back foot Stevens and Patrick Peterson, who hasn't had a lot to do today, I must say. Well, that can only be for obstruction. I didn't see the hand signal.
There we go.
Well, have a look at this. Louis Stradham's going to have a bash at kicking this over. And that's inside his own half by 3 or 4 meters. And of course, well, Andrew, I couldn't ask you this because I don't think you've ever kicked one from there. But that is some distance. But kicking infield, of course, there's rarefied. It's thinner, so the ball can travel some distance. But, you know, we were talking about his abilities, and you were with Eric Herbert. And, you know, really, if a fellow can kick this sort of distance, you know, Griquas are going to have to be very careful.
So you maybe ask Matt Dunning of New South Wales for his opinion.
Well, he kicked a drop goal the other day. I didn't see you kick one during your career. Lots of practice, though, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Fairly short run up. That's a boomer. It's a monster kick, that, and it's over.
What a kick. Louis Stradham, 7 meters in his own half. He pumped it over with a 4-meter little run up. What a superb kick. Louis Stradham, this left-footed fly-off, who's playing fullback today, is having a superb game here this afternoon.
Well, this game has really developed into something quite interesting. Maybe a lot of people might have been worried that Griquas are going to run away with it at 19-0. Right now, that's all changed. This time a chance for Jeffrey Stevens. Our referee says there was a forward pass. And the crowd are not very happy with that. I sense a bit of frustration in the crowd as well as the players. Just 4 points the difference right now. There's the flip pass. Was that forward? I'd say no.
No, it didn't look forward from here. Jeffrey Stevens, superb SA Sevens player, lives in Worcester in the Western Cape.
A lot of the kicks from Louis Staden have been pressure ones. But he has certainly, as you said, Andrew, I think he's kept the Griffons closer to the halfway line or inside Griquas territory with those booming kicks. I don't think we've had a full line out all day. Short line outs have been the order, pretty much from both teams. Flat running this from Ruan Nel. Good play by him, but he had no one on his shoulder. Could have just flipped it to one of the bigger players.
No problem. Back over here, pulling it down. Stacking must take away immediately, not in the 5 meters.
So Philip van Schalkwyk penalised for the second time. Now what did Griquas? Well, Griquas are going to kick downfield. They've got 3 tries already. Another one will mean a bonus point for them. It's interesting because I fancy that was kickable for Ruan Nel. Man now in picture.
I could see a second time is a dangerous tackle. The referee not picking it up though.
Well, that's excellent play there. We thought the pass might have been forward.
Catch and hold. Engage. Right now, straight.
Griquas come in very well as a unit. Loubser, former Western Province under 21, and Rudy Durant to the Blue Bulls, ex-Blue Bulls, really working well as a unit, getting that good left shoulder.
Again, Staden downfield. 60 meters. Griquas there. Oh, they thought about the quick throw and then it came back again. Stevens. Attacking opportunities limited there for Colin Lloyd, who took it back in field, and Griquas have now given away a penalty.
Yes, I mean, experience being called up, but great play by the Griffons. The defense was there, they moved up quickly, and Stevens and it looked like Christophe de Toy in all sorts of trouble.
So another chance now for Staden. Just over 3 minutes left of this first half, and this to close it, the gap to just 1 point. Been a massive comeback this from the Griffons. I think that's going to swing in. Yes, he's got another one, has Staden. So Willie Meyer very happy with that effort and the way that they've come back into the game, courtesy of that man, with 2 penalties and a conversion. 2 tries to boot as well, one belonging to Roo and one belonging to Readers. Ruan Nel's kick in, fielded there by JJ Fredericks. Getting quite happy to move that ball down inside their 22, playing with a lot of confidence there are the Griffons. Peterson, van Schalkwyk. Griquas trying to find a little bit of rhythm just before half-time. but now they've gone and lost it again. So lots of good foraging this from the Griffons. There's another chance for them. Coming up is Henry Reeders, showing a clean pair of heels. Lloyd won't catch him. Well, well, well. Suddenly it's 3 tries apiece, 2 belonging to Henry Reeders.
So what a dash of speed there. He just geared up and really ran away. I thought he was going to be pulled in. It was a turnover. JJ Fredericks, the former province player, pounced on the ball, and Reeder looked around, actually running away from his defense and the Griquas defenders, and a big man to run fast like that. Well, it's great to see, and that just put the Griffons into the lead. Jean van Wyk with a solemn look, but he inside, he must be very happy with that.
Well, it's been an incredible half. Another 2 points, and suddenly the Griffons are now into a 6-point lead. Just have another look at the lovely little hands there from Henry Reeder, and bearing in mind he ran a good 45 meters there, literally outstripping everybody, with the exception of Colin Lloyd, who'd come across a little bit too late. Well, Nell's kick downfield and change of direction hasn't worked that well. Peterson, can Griquas reply before half-time? No knock-on, says the referee. Joe Beckers delivers well, and then it's over the top. Here's a chance for Enrico Swart. Lovely running by him. Inside he goes. Watch this. This is going to be another one. The 4th try and the bonus point for the Griffons. Can you believe it? Another 50-meter charge.
Unbelievable. Enrico Swart just showing a dash of speed. Their pack was going to dominate today. It never happened. The backs have come to the party. And just look at the superb play. Long pass out. He had no space and just eluded one tackle coming inside. And there was no stopping this young man. Former Western Province under 21 speedster. He's very quick and slamming that ball down, and Willie Meyer chuffed. 4 tries, 1 bonus point. What a turnaround the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and we're likely to have, after this kick, 51 points in that first half. So things not really being played as tight as what we expected it to be played. And the Griffons really just went outstandingly. Just such a lovely finish. It's been some really attractive tries from them as well. And there we go. Swart stepping inside. A few missed tackles from Griquas too, one's got to add. But it was the determination of the right wing to get the bonus point eventually for the Griffons. So we had 7 tries in that first half, 4 belonging to the Griffons and 3 belonging to Griquas. We could have a very, very exciting second half as we look across, we always call it the valleys. No valleys up here, of course. So half-time scoreline then here at Absa Park. Griffons 32 and Griquas 19.
Hallo, ek is Zak van die Kerk en my nuwe CD Lekker Kry skop ook sommer lekker. 17 lekker kry snitte op Lekker Kry met backplate, saamsing en skoffeletjies op my. Dis natuurlik ek, Zak se Lekker Kry. Maar ek sê fokkie. Ag, hoe kan ons dit net los nie? My CD Lekker Kry is nou beskikbaar. My plaas se naam is Lekker Kry.
These are scars that speak of unrivaled commitment, unwavering belief, unbreakable passion, and an endless desire. We may have been broken, but the Springbok spirit will never be beaten. South Africa versus Scotland, exclusive to SuperSport. Live on the 7th of June, proudly sponsored by Vodacom.
Mr. Lappin, it's Pete from work. It's my throat. I'm not going to be able to make this weekend's team building exercise.
Right, fine. See you Monday.
What a Premiership classic we've way too cool, man. This Saturday lunchtime. Both these teams.
Yeah, hello?
Peter, Mike Lupton. I just wanted... You're sounding better all of a sudden.
Sorry I can't come to the phone right now. Please leave your name and number after the tone.
Smirnoff Spin. A clear blend of pure Smirnoff vodka with a crisp bite of lemon. Enjoy responsibly.
So a very good first half by the visitors. The Griffons up against Griquas, and Nos, just looking at that whole lot, I would assume that the Griquas would be a little worried going into the dressing room.
Yeah, and it's amazing what 40 minutes on a rugby field can do. It's like before we started, everything really looked organized and set for Griquas to take it. And then if you go about it and then you think...
it makes it quite an interesting one. I'm going to interrupt Nas just there for a second because the Super Dad television campaign is on the go, and we wanted to bring that to you as well. Here is our number coming up. It's 082-280-5000. So if you wanted to enter your dad, you can describe him in one word on 082-280-5000. Then you stand a chance of getting him to win some really nice prizes. Nas, I'm just having a look at what we were saying about the visitors, Griffons, with some very good tries. That last try from Enrico Swart, absolutely dynamite. He's been foraging for work all afternoon. Hy het goed gelyk. Hy's vinnig.
Ja, maar Arnold, is voor die wedstrijd, soos alles is daar vir Griquas om het te gaan vat, né? En jy kyk dan na 61% vir Griquas teen 39%. Jy kyk teen 62% gebiedsvoordeel teen 38%. En dan gaan kyk jy na die eerste 30 minute. 19-0. So hier en daar die Griffons begin 'n paar fases aan mekaar sit. En ewe skielik, ek dink omtrent in 10 of 12 minute, speel die Griffons fantastiese rugby. Voorspelers, agterspelers kombineer goed. Fantastiese hantering deur die agterspelers van die Griffons. En ewe skielik daar gaan teken hulle 32 punte uit die bloute aan. Maar dit wys daarom maar net vir jou die ding van as jy 19 punte voor is, dan beteken dit nie die wedstryd is verby nie. En ek weet, nou sit 'n ou en kyk, nou wonder jy nou, wat het Griquas nou gedink? En ek was al in so 'n situasie gewees. Jy dink, "Jees, maar dis eintlik nou lekker maklik."
Hierdie is sommer gemaklik.
En dis waar die fout in kom. En ewe skielik, toe begin hierdie Griffons daarom hier 'n paar goeie drie druk en goeie fases aan mekaar sit. Reder se hantering daarso, want dit was nie 'n goeie aangee na hom gewees nie. Hy druk die 7 punte die laaste 3 van die Griffons, fantastiese beweging. En ewe skielik is die Griffons 32-19 voor. En nou sal ek vir jou sê, nou sal Griquas en so is die brein sal moet nou gaan sit en dink, maar wat het hulle nou eintlik bereik? Eerste 30 minute fantastiese rugby speel en daarna? En dit is ongelukkig hoe rugby nie werk nie. Rugby is 80 minute en as jy nie vir 80 minute speel nie, gaan jy ergens in die moeilikheid kom en dis presies wat hier gebeur het.
Well, it does make very interesting reading because Griquas were 7-0 up after just 5 minutes, and another 11 minutes later they were leading by 14 without an answer, and it makes very interesting reading because right now it's 19:32. Well, let's tell you about what is still coming up as well on the other side of the world too. We'll do that after the break. We're back with our commentators in just a second.
Introducing the all-new Mazda 6.
Vodacom's smashing sale. Get the Nokia 3310 free on a weekend everyday contract at an incredible 19 Rand per month for the first 12 months. Or $7.99 cash, subject to the purchase and in-store activation of a Vodacom 4U or Power starter pack at normal price. Plus, starter packs from as little as $19.99. Available from all participating stores while stocks last. Conditions apply. South Africa's leading cellular sale from Vodacom. South Africa's leading cellular network.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Traction control ready? Drop the clutch and let's go!
Accelerating at this speed distorts your face, giving you a ghostly smile.
And a highly oversteering David Coulthard.
By now, blood pools in your feet.
You can see the two Renaults attacking hard. Eddie Irvine.
At 200 miles per hour, your peripheral vision is completely blurred.
This is the corner they're going to change.
The G-force in corner 1 rocks your head from side to side.
So look at that.
Your pulse rate is up to 180 or even 200.
Good start by Michael Schumacher.
Accelerating out of the corner, your breath is literally taken away. At full speed, you are traveling the length of a football field every normal heartbeat. 7,100 seconds to go. And you'll see every single one on Supersport.
Mr. Lappin, it's Pete from work. It's my throat. I'm not going to be able to make this weekend's team building exercise.
Right, fine. See you Monday.
What a Premiership Classic we've
Way too cool, mate.
this Saturday lunchtime. Both these teams...
Yeah, hello?
Peter, Mike Lupton. I just wanted... You're sounding better all of a sudden.
Sorry I can't come to the phone right now. Please leave your name and number after the tone.
Smirnoff Spin. A clear blend of pure Smirnoff vodka with a crisp bite of lemon. Enjoy responsibly.
Welcome back here to Absa Park, where we've had just such an interesting first half. For those of you that might just have joined us, 51 points and a complete turnaround after Griquas went up 19-0 in the lead. Griquas have had the majority of the possession and the territory. The Griffons came back to their credit as well, although most of their tries were, we might want to call them opportunistic. They were counter-attacks and from virtually in their own half of the field. But they've got into a lead, and it's a pretty commanding one as well. And that man, Louis Staden, has kicked extremely well for them today. He's got 2 penalties, 2 conversions, and 4 tries. They've already got the bonus point, have the Griffons, for scoring those 4 tries. And Willie Meyer, along with Eugene van Wyk, the 2 coaches for the Griffons, will no doubt be more than happy with that first half.
All right, blue captain. Yeah. Captain goal.
Eugene van Wyk just probing around with an instrument in his hand. That's Sways de Bruin, who's got some worries, one feels, but he knows that his team have got the capabilities to get back into this game. They had such a good first 20 minutes. Charles Blom under all sorts of pressure at scrum half, but they've got a penalty now, have Griquas.
Come over here. We're starting from the side, guys, from their back, please.
Patrick Peterson called up to make the penalty kick.
Yes, Krobler took the ball in. And Slang Roo coming in from the side. Lawrence picking that up very well.
Well, let's see what sort of tactics Griquas are going to employ in these first 10 minutes of the second half. Looks like there's a replacement's been made. Driscourse has been brought on in the centre position.
In the middle.
And that's another replacement as well, with Robert Cockrell, who's on at hooker for Griquas.
All right, let her go, tackler, onside.
Famous hooking name in South African rugby.
All right, hold goal.
Again, it's an absolute boomer downfield from Louis Staden. But that's not helping Griquas' cause at all. So when they are kicking it back and this man's getting it in hand, he's just pumping them straight back into their own half, or just about on this occasion.
It's for your forwards to attack and just come back all the time. Very demoralizing, but Louis Staden really been outstanding so far this afternoon.
Well, their line-out work has gone well for them, but they want to keep the ball in hand a little bit more, one feels, the Griquas.
Hands off goal now. Hands off goal.
Griffons are standing very, very flat. Now, no doubt Griquas will look to try and use Driscoll to drive the ball upfield. Again, it's a kick this time, a better directed one from Charles Blom, although they've lost the possession. But they know they can compete in the line-outs, Griquas.
Gavin, there's a whole host of reserves on. I see for the Griquas. You have Headley Vessels on. Looks like Bertus Jonas is also on. So they've made some changes at halftime to beef their pack up a bit.
Real, oh.
Well, one wonders if that was the major concern, because one felt that their pack were competing rather well. And, you know, one needs to take into account, without taking anything away from the Griffons, that a lot of their tries were scored from counter-attack and some poor defensive work in the backs. Cockrell with a throw-in, taken by Yanni Bornman.
Wait, wait! Use it now.
Ruan Nel, that's good play by Ruan Nel, standing very flat, attacking the advantage line. Cockrell doing the same.
Huh? All off the feet, number 17, up, up.
Well, Headley Vessels, the man penalised for going down off his feet at the ruck.
I think when you put 3 or 4 reserves on as well at once, it causes a bit of rhythm. Guys are also a bit rusty. They're not used to playing together, and mistakes often come in just like that.
I want you to look at the back line again, and then back to that flat thing, get the guys on side, right?
Well, interesting that Griquas have taken Ludwig van Staden off the field at inside centre, got Driscoll's playing there, so clearly Driscoll's going to be used to take the ball up. And it'll be an interesting tussle with Johan Karlitz, who's opposite him, who's also over 100 kilograms.
Zone players, zone players.
Good work by Henry Reeders, just secured the possession for the Griffons. Lloyd. Back to Peterson. And that's a good kick that from Patrick Peterson.
There's some good play by Patrick. He summed it up very well, read the situation and put a great kick out.
Well, quick throw in from the Griffons. They really are tossing it around a bit because they know they've got the boot of Louis Staden to use. Peterson looking to attack. Last fielding there from JP Joubert.
Last feet. Old blue.
Well, I think Griquas have learned a lesson. Their defensive players are standing a bit further back, knowing that the ball can come some distance back at them. That was Kobus Grobelaar that took it in.
Advantage, 13-12 offside.
Nel. It was the last try scorer, Enrico Swartz.
13-12.
Well, this time the Griffons were breaching that offside line in the form of Anlo Swart and Johan Karlitz. Now, what do Griquas do now? They trail by those 13 points. Still no interest in kicking at goal. Well, they should have done it if they're going to kick the ball like that, because that's a poor effort, that, from Ruan Nel, and his opposite number. Again, it's Kobus Grobelaar taking it in.
Last feet.
Nel. And then strong tackle that on Driscoll. There's been a lot of disruption at the rucks. I think this is turnover ball now for the Griffons. Carlitz. Lots of work for Griquas to do, yeah. Lloyd.
Come on, go, Blue.
There's still quite a bit of probing from both sides, Andrew.
Yes, but not good play there by the Griquas forwards, especially Rudy Durant. It was a static loose ball. He wanted to pick it up and drive through 3 Griffons players, and he had a turnover there. Rather just clean up. If you can't make a difference, stand out, but that wasn't good play by Durant, and a gift turnover for the Griffons, but definitely probing each other, and I'm just surprised they're not going for poles.
Well, the pick-up and drive worked well for them in those first 20 minutes. But I think there's been greater competition at the rucks now from the Griffons. This time Griquas getting it out, so they've got the throw in at the line-out. Their line-outs have been secure. They've got a lot of options in it as well. Cockrell to the back to Yanni Bornman. This time the Griquas pack making some headway and going blind. Back inside they come, but they're meeting strong resistance from the Griffons in terms of first-time tackles. Will there be another one? Oh, and we see another turnover. Griquas really are finding a lot of pressure at the rucks.
I'd just like to see if Henry Reeder actually was on his feet when he took that ball. Looked like he was definitely on his knees there, but he's got the ball, and definitely more competitive, the Griffons. They're not making it easy for the National Griquas team, who really had plain sailing in the first 20 minutes.
Well, nerves getting to all the players now. Louis Staden not kicking it out on this occasion. It's a lovely effort that again by the Griffons at the point of breakdown. They've again turned it over. No room for Malcolm Milan.
Off the feet, number 9.
Oh, I wonder if lucky Louis Staden doesn't want to have another bash at goal from here. I'll tell you what, based on that last one of his, he probably won't be far short. Maybe a little adventurous, he says. Such a lovely natural strike of the ball, this young man. Griffons going with a short line out to the back to Bierkes. Good fielding of the ball there by JP Joubert. Griquas under all sorts of pressure, but I think they've recovered. Well, they haven't recovered enough, because the put-in will belong to the Griffons. The one thing I fancy Griquas right now don't want to do is give away another 7 points.
Now they'll be in big trouble there. There's a little kick through, very, very important, but the pressure was the telling blow there, retaining pressure.
Seeing a lot of tigerish efforts from their pack of forwards and some inventive running from their backs as well. This is Johan Karlitz. Well, both teams conceding a lot of penalties.
It's Carlos, great tackle there by the Griquas defense and isolated, hanging on the ball. Another penalty.
So played sevens rugby for his country.
That's right, and for the Leopards and for Border. Some of the guys are collecting a few blazers there. Ever sit on the ground.
Ron Nell, that's a good kick from him as well, just looking to squeeze Enrico Swartz, but he loves running, does Enrico Swartz. Big call for penalty from the Griquas players. The referee playing advantage now. Cockerell. Another run in this time by Cobus Grobelaar. He's taken it up quite often as Grobelaar. Well, I just wonder if they're not going to kick it goal right now. They have to start get within striking distance. Well, again, they decide not to kick it goal. Peterson probing for the corner flag, and that's a good kick from him. But Griquas have got to turn this into points now.
Yeah, the big drive. Definite hard tackle. But Griquas' body position wasn't good there, but they'll be wanting to secure this line out.
Good jump from Yanni Bornman. Now the drive is what's asked for. They did it well early on in the first half. That's a better effort from them. Are they over? They're very close. Now, who's going to take it up? Is this a chance for them? Yes, says Mark Lawrence.
A very good try there by Yanni Borman, who actually played for the Free State last year. Well structured and set up by the pack. Good line-out ball. They took it forward, and scrum off Charles Blum had so much time. Yanni Borman angled his run very, very well. Nice quick pass, crisp pass, and over they went. And that's just what the National Griquas team would be looking, just putting them into striking range of a really rampant Griffons team who's dominated proceedings the last 15 minutes.
Nell with a conversion, so the gap has now been closed. Just 6 points in it.
He said again, and that's not good tackling by the Griquas players. You've got to go and fetch him. You can't go and stand and wait. He said again, nice little step off there, but you're running into small little backs, half your weight. There's really no contest.
The Griquas loose forwards coming into their own. We saw a lot of Philip van Schalkwyk in the first half. Now Yanni Bornman and Cobus Grobelaar also reveling in the opportunities that have been presented to them. Dries Scholz, who has a role as well. Nell. Well, that's a shocker, that from Ruan Nell.
Yes, Ruan Nell played for the Lions. Also had a stint in Italy. Not a good kick. Then Nicky van der Walt, he is injured. Got a sore shoulder. He was telling us before the game, and good to see him coming to watch his teammates.
Rieders, he's got 2 tries to his name already. The Griffons hungry for another try. Well, all a little bit messy. Referee waits and then blows his whistle. Penalty for the Griffons.
Rieder just over-elaborating, just being too selfish there. Should have turned quicker, got tied up into an awkward situation, but lucky enough to have a penalty. But I think David's decision-making in crucial times with the ball carrier, where both teams have got themselves into a lot of trouble this afternoon. Just that 1 yard too far, and having breakdowns in play, and I think that's been a big problem this afternoon.
It's really been one for Griquas, because we've seen a huge number of turnovers as well, but in the second half, which they can ill afford. So this to push the Griffons back into a 9-point lead. No trouble for Staden. He's got the Griffons' first points of the second half.
So again, when the guys ran on, you said they were led on by Charles Blom. I thought you were going to say they were led on by Bushy. The supporter, yeah. He must be supporter of the year in South African rugby. Yo, doesn't miss a game.
Yeah, one of the diehards. Cyril Nell deciding to kick, of course, into the sun. A little bit more difficult for the Griffons players. And then Isak Job making a bit of a mess of that. Referee says there was a knock-on. So we're seeing a real seesaw struggle here. It's back and forth.
Yes, that's just pressure. Stand pressure. Isak Job just lifting his head up. It wasn't a good pass either. Can't really blame him, but that's just a result of pressure coming through.
Oh, it didn't look like a knock-on. It looked like it went backwards. Nell back inside. It's Christophe de Toy that took it in. Again, a man coming at pace. Important that, and running the right angle. Griquas one quick delivery. They got it now. Chance for Lloyd. Had a one-on-one. And then the switch to Peterson, but he's shunted into touch. Oh, referee's going to bring him back. What is this now? He's going to have a chat. No, he's just going to be a quick take. And an attempt there by Charles Blom to get over. Still they come. That's going to be a try. So Griquas have replied. And that's a try to Rudy Durant. His fellow prop, Lucky van Straten, got the first one.
Oh, this is good play by Charles Blom. He's really impressed all afternoon. And Rudy Durant, who hasn't quite got it right with those pickups this afternoon, got it right this time with a very good try.
So the points are really flowing here at Absa Park, and both teams have got a bonus point for 4 tries.
Yes, Charles Blom, I've mentioned before, very quick, took the initiative, and big Rudy Durant, who also, I believe, hates the odd bra, crashed over for a try.
Prolific meat eater. Catch there from Bertus Yennis, one of the replacements.
Yes, Charles Blom very lucky. He fell very badly, and I felt that Lawrence could have let that go a couple of seconds longer and the Griffons would have had it.
It's Duimpie Theron who's down at the moment. A man who comes from Windhoek. And of course is an ex-Blue Bull as well. The Griffons just in that slender lead then at the moment. 2 points, but what a turnaround, Andrew. It's been incredible.
It's amazing how the game plans have changed. We see possession. Well, that says it all. The Griffons have done so much with that little 38% that they had. And Nashua Griquas, who really dominated proceedings, haven't really got the points to score for it. Territory says it all as well.
Quite amazing.
Okay, number 3 goal, break up. Don't do that. Don't be on the side of the field. Okay, that's straight. Crouch and hold. Okay. Down 9! Yeah, behind the number 8.
Oh, something that Eugene van Wyk and Willie Meyer used at half-time has worked with the Griffons as well.
On the mark, not next to me.
But they're clawing and hanging on at the moment. The Mooty's starting to wear off.
As you said to Willie, would you enjoy a little 20 minutes? He said, no, maybe 1 minute.
Well, he hasn't got his togs on. Nothing close to it. Left them at home, and it's a long way to fetch them. But right now, he's got Dirkie Groenewald and Frans Botha doing the job in the front row. Back there. And Griquas doing well with Dries Scholz. This is where he's so good. Running on at pace to a ball at the back of the line out. The Griffons having to make a lot of tackles now. Good change of direction. Nell opened up a bit of space. He has a chance. Here we go. Dries Scholz has got another one for Griquas.
Well, Robbie Fleck said to me a couple of years ago, the best cent he's ever played against was a fit Dries Scholz. And there you can just see some magic. A guy hasn't played for 6-7 weeks. What an electrifying player. Just look how well he comes off his feet. Just broke that first tackle off. And unstoppable, as Gavin mentioned earlier, good at taking the ball up, but short bursts, very, very difficult and elusive player.
There was lovely running by Ruan Nel as well a little bit earlier, and he just really sucked in the opposition and created the space, and now he's got another 2 points to boot. Just have a look at that. It was the tail end of it, but how he'd actually opened up the space, committed early tacklers. And I think if Dries Scholz gets wide on your arm as you're going through, you're not going to stop him.
He scores havoc in last year's Currie Cup final, and he was my man of the match. I think Jake White also singled him out as the biggest difference in the game last year.
Changes by the Griffons. Leonard van der Merwe on at hooker. And it looks like Louis Taber's on as well for Enrico Swartz. Griquas using the width of the field for Peterson. I must say that both teams have confidently thrown the ball around in their own 22, which can often be quite dangerous. So the Griffons felt that it was time to make some replacements, changes, as we move into, well, we're already into the last 20 minutes. And Griquas up in that lead by 40 to 35. Ball stolen by Griquas. It's looking like they're starting to come into their own, Griquas, now.
Well, these reserves have certainly energized this pack, and right up front there, Bertus Jennis, and in the back, Dries Scholz have really just injected a bit of enthusiasm and fire into a Griquas pack who now have the lead.
Again, it's good work by Jannie Bornman. It wasn't a great throw, no, but they've actually lost it. Griffons to Staden. Peterson got Jeffrey Stevens with him. That's a good deep kick into the 22. Which way does it bounce? Isak Job under all sorts of pressure, and he's come away nicely. But a lot of the play at the moment for the Griffons is defensive work.
Isak Job brought in for his defensive role. Little chip forward by Patrick Peterson, and just some good play by the Griffons, putting it to the right guy, and that was Job.
Well, Cockrell's throw goes awry, taken up by Jaco Kutsia. Job trying to find some space there for Anlo Swart. Peterson counter-attack time. Suddenly Griquas are starting to find their rhythm, one feels a little bit. That's why they've been able to bring their loose forwards like Bornman into play. Staden. Another good kick that from Staden, and it bounces on the line, says Louis Mazomba, the DJ.
Well, the Griffons have to rely on a bit more than Louis Staden's booming touch kicks. They've got to get points.
Yeah, it's 6 tries to 4 right now in the favour of those men, Griquas. Nella Swat with a catch at the back of the line out. Yeah, Griquas get them all going forward. We saw that in the first 20 minutes, and then it disappeared. Now it's coming back again when it really counts towards the end of the game. Up from Blom. Bierkus back for it, and Staden. This time he's caught in possession. And then popping out on Griquas' side, almost suspiciously so.
Robin Cocktail fell very awkwardly there, and they'll be lucky to retain that put in.
Another change for the Griffons, bringing on Leon van Niekerk for his debut, and this is a big opportunity for the young man who only played Craven Week last year. So he'll be on in place of JJ Fredericks on the flank position.
Yes, Gavin, interesting, Hedley Wessels is playing his 72nd consecutive game for Griquas today. The record held by Peter Smith. 96 consecutive games he played in the winning Currie Cup team in 1970. It's quite a lot of games.
It is a lot of games, especially in modern day rugby where there's such a demand on you as a player. Well, that time the kick going a little too deep, but I think Charles Blom is quite enjoying the service he's getting from his forwards. And Staden, this one screwing off his boot. Pressure starting to tell a little bit on the Griffons. They've got 13 minutes left in this game to make up that deficit. No contest this time from the Griffons. Nell down the line, lovely slick handling, chance for Colin Lloyd. Does he inside out? Little chip kick from him, gets the bounce. No, says the touch judge. He stepped into touch and goal, I think. He was already over the try line.
You want to check it?
Oh, we're going to come and have a look upstairs, and I think it's a good idea.
I just want you to check if the foot wasn't in touch and goal before he scored the try. Please advise. Yeah, we'll make sure.
Precision play, and Colin Lloyd putting the chip, which he gathered. We never saw that. And we're going to see, did his left foot touch the line?
Okay, kom ons sien of jy reg is.
I really need another angle, don't we?
But Louis Mazomba right on the scene there.
This one should give us the answer.
Still there, Harry?
Wow. As luck would have it.
Ek hom gekry. Jy hom gekry. Don.
Well, Ari Squinwinkel is the man upstairs, just having to make this very tough decision. I'm not sure if he can give it. It's got to almost be one frame at a time. Did his left foot touch?
How's it going there, Harry? Harry, you there?
Well, that third angle was probably the best one to have made some sort of judgment, but it was really quite difficult to see in the bottom of our picture whether that foot did touch the line. Interestingly enough, the touch judge, Lawrence van der Merwe, immediately put up his flag. And then after discussion, they decided to come upstairs.
Thank you. Can I go?
If Aris Schoenwinkel can't make a decision, can they rely on the touch judge, or is it Schoenwinkel's decision completely?
Well, this is what they've decided. It's no try, so it was touch in goal, so it's a 22-metre dropout. So the Griffons are able to breathe again. It's quite a pity that in some ways, because it was a fantastic move. Griquas are going to bring on Garth Sandberg in place of Charles Blom. Interesting decision this, because Charles Blom has dominated proceedings, Andrew, as you've often said as well. A nice opportunity for Sandberg.
At a vital stage of the game.
Yeah, absolutely vital. Someone else will take over the captaincy. That ball, did it go in skew? Referee says no. Driscoll staying on his feet long enough to get the forwards up to him. It's made quite a difference in the second half as the big bustling centre. And then Zandberg, fresh legs and all. Ruan Nel, that's something he's also done well, is try and get across the advantage line. All defensive work right now for the Griffons. They know that a try right now is going to probably squeeze them out of this contest. They've got to make their tackles. Griquas showing lots of patience, just keeping possession. Ball eventually coming from Stevens to Cockrell. Lovely pick up that from Headley Vessels. But it's been taken away. Now a chance for the Griffons. Lovely little touch on. Kick downfield here from Staden. There's going to be a big chase. Well, the touchline is going to win. Great pity about that. So Andrew, once again, a turnover for the Griffons.
Oh, bad decision by the new scrum off that came on. He came blind. There was a wall of defence. Lost the ball, and Big Louis Staden putting the boot on, but the support wasn't quite there, nor was the bounce in their favour.
Ten minutes left then. 5 points in it. The referee waiting for advantage here to give a penalty to Griquas. Once again getting over the advantage line.
Last goal.
And well, Ruan Nels kicked it straight into touch, but they'll come back for a penalty, so Griquas have got another chance. It's quite amazing. Griquas have probably shunned about 4 opportunities of kicking at goal, which might have made quite a big difference and made their job a little bit easier. Question there, I suppose the Griffons were saying, was that ball out? And referee says no. Another poor kick that from Peterson. Back it comes from Leonard van der Merwe.
Hold your goal. Play.
Cockrell. Nice running by the hooker. There's another ball on the field which the referee's now picked up. Could be the first time a referee makes a decision with the ball in his hand. Well,
Number 11.
Well, he's tossed it away. So now another chance for the Griffons, but they've got to run it up. Can he get some oomph from his forwards? Well, he'll need it from his backs right now. They've got an overlap. We've seen very little of Malcolm Malone in this match. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities. Driscoll's competing.
Thank you.
A huge turn of pace by the young flyer. And look at Dries Stolz right on his feet. This is where he really is so good. In the Currie Cup final last, he hasn't played much rugby this year, but he has made a big difference. And it's just so sad that he's been in a tangle with the Bulls and with Griquas, and a plain Super 12 hasn't really been there. And I think he's got a lot of potential. Gavin, he must just get fit again, and I think he can really go places.
Well, it's been two factors, yeah, as you say. I mean, fitness is one and injuries is another, and of course the one is a byproduct of the other. And that is a great pity, because he's got so much talent and he's shown a lot of it today. And Eugene van Wyk really is, you know, after that excellent effort in the latter part of the first half, and then one or two good efforts in the second, they've just lacked perhaps the same rhythm that they had at that time. And that's the sort of ball they want, taking it up over the advantage line. Joe Griquas this time. Isak Job.
Advantage, tackling the man without the ball. Tackle the man without the ball.
Well, Johan Carlos was the man tackled without the ball. They got into a bit of a tangle there, the two back lines. Now, what do they do now? 5 points the difference. Do they kick it goal? Just 7 minutes left. Staden is going to kick it goal. It's quite amazing, Andrew, because we've seen this movie before, but 7 minutes left. He gets this over. They're 2 points adrift. One more penalty from his own 10-meter line. Over it goes. They win the match.
That's true.
So the game's far from over.
The risk, obviously, they're taking. Are they going to get another opportunity after this? I reckon it's the right decision, Gavin. They haven't really got it together the second half. It's been very patchy. And good idea, take your 3 points now, especially that Louis Staden's been on form.
Of course, remembering if they do lose, and they lose by 7 or less points, they also get a bonus point. So that would give them 2 against the 5 of Griquas. Not the worst haul away from home. It's an important one, this, as he got it. He's turned and run, so, yep, Louis Staden has got his 4th penalty goal of the match. And now just 2 points in it. So Griquas will also be thinking in the back of their head, guys, no penalties anywhere close to the 10-meter line even of the Griffons, who are now bringing on Cyril Lowe, who will pack down in the front row in place of Frans Botha.
Time on.
Nell's kick. Excellent one. Deep down the touchline, and then it screws off the boot. So Joe Griquas clapping his hands and saying, come on, chaps, we've got to hang in here.
What?
In a game like this, you want at least an 8-point cushion to avoid any shocks.
Anything can happen. A Matt Dunning drop goal. You name it. Griquas have been secure in the lineouts today. This time using Neil Swat and looking for the drive up. They know that a try will probably seal it. But the Griffons are tackling for all they're worth at the moment. Blind side they go. They've got a bit of space here. Yes, a chance. Here they come. Is this going to be a try? Yes, it is. Well, that sealed it now for Griquas, and they know it.
Outstanding play, nice clinical play by the Griquas team. Good, clean ball. They went to the blind side, straightened up, and out he went. This is good play. And the big lock forward, he was not going to pass and just go over himself. He wanted to tie it up, and Dame Pitron played for Namibia and the Bulls. Well, he said, I'm going to tie this up myself. And some good clinical play. Well done.
Different 7 points right now, so the Griffons have, depending on what happens with this conversion, might still scramble a point. Ron Nell from the touchline. Is it going to swing in? Great kick from him. Quite incredible. 7 tries that Griquas has scored, 4 of them in the second half.
What a game. It's had a bit of everything in. ABC again, just nice clinical play. Good play there by Robin Cockrell. Popped it out to his mate, and this is a big advantage of having big forwards running onto backs.
Catch there from Jannie Bornman. Recovered from that car crash during the week.
Listen, well done to Sway Schubert, whose reserves in the second half have made a big difference. Heading that list, Driscoll's.
Engage.
Griquas looking to go blind. Brought both their centres there. Johan Karlitz is one of them, the man in possession. Oh, it's Leonard van der Merwe. Isak Job. And the big Dirkie Groenewald.
Play on from the foot.
Job. Rather, it was Malcolm Milan.
Rock!
Which way do the Griffons go? Inside they go. It's opened up a bit of space. Well, Griquas are competing more with those rucks, one might say, and that's not giving a lot of openings for the Griffons. They've held on to possession, and it's opened up a bit of space. Staden inside it goes. Some nice interplay this by the Griffons, staying on their feet. It was Slung Roo, one of their try scorers, and well, they've got to try. Bearing in mind that's their first try of the second half. They've had to field 4 against Griquas, and this one belonging to Johan Karlitz.
Yes, Johan Karlitz, some good play there. Nice little interplay, driving play, good low body position, and the Griquas really scrammed. A little pick up and drive by Karlitz close to the line, and it was just a small Enrico Swart who really had no chance against that big man. They've come back nicely, but I think they've left it late.
One of the important things here, Andrew, as well, is just watch Johan Karlitz. You'll see him come into picture there now. Now he gets tackled, down he goes. So he's out of play right now. Gets up again, goes up, joins, picks up, takes it over. Wonderful work rate that from the centre. Not the ideal angle this for the left-footed Louis Staden, but he hasn't got a problem with the wind. It's going to drift away eventually. So 4 points in it now.
There's the Griffons with 2 huge centres, and some good work right there by Johan Karlitz. Pick up and drive. The defence from the Griquas weren't there. It was just the lonely figure of Enrico Swart, who had absolutely no answer to the momentum of Johan Karlitz.
Well, there we are. A rather relieved Sways de Bruin, who might have been quite worried at half-time that the Griffons were going to overrun him, and shaking his head. Joe Bierkes and his team fought very gamely for most of this game, and well, as a contest, it certainly had its moments. Both teams realized the importance of the sort of points that they would have needed, and I'll just congratulations all round there. Disappointment for Eugene van Wyk and Willie Meyer, but happiness for Sways de Bruin, and a game which realized eventually 12 tries in those 90 points that we see on the screen there right now. It wasn't a big crowd here today, and that of course is a pity, but certainly for all of you at home there, one hopes that you enjoyed the fare that we offered this afternoon. We've got Christo Ulifi downstairs on the field to do the interviews.
Wel, hierdie kompetisie het gister begin en ons het gesien dat dit baie harde rugby gaan oplewer. Die spanne speel vir oorlewing en gisterand 'n goeie wedstryd, vanmiddag hier in Kimberley geen uitsondering nie. Die Griffons se kaptein Joe Beek is hier by my. Joe, wel, julle het beslis nie as die gunstelinge hierheen gekom nie en na 19-0 het dit gelyk of Griquas gaan weghardloop met die wedstryd en toe ewe skielik het julle met 'n geweldige poging gekom.
Ja, weet jy, ons het net vir die ouens gesê ons moet kalm bly. Ons het 'n gameplan wat ons ingeoefen het. Ons het by ons gameplan begin bly, die balbesit gehou en dinge het reg gekom.
En julle het in die lyn staan 'n bietjie gesukkel, daar balle verloor.
Ja, dis eintlik 'n snaakse ding. Ons lyn staan is ons goeie punte, maar ons sal aan werk.
In die tweede helfte, Joe, aanvanklik amper eers laat hier teen die einde wat julle 3 gedruk het. Tweede helfte het Griquas beter gespeel, maar julle het toe ook bietjie gesukkel. Nie baie balbesit gehad nie.
Ek dink die groot ding was die balbesit, die lyn staan wat ons verloor het. Maar alle eer aan Griquas, hulle het goed gejol die tweede helfte.
Maar julle het bonuspunte gekry, Joe, meer as 4-3 gedruk. Julle het met minder as 7 punte verloor. Dis 'n goeie begin vir 'n span wat tot dusver vanjaar gesukkel het.
Ja nee, 2 punte op 'n wegwedstryd veral hier so in Absa Park is nie maklik nie. So ek is tevrede.
Joe, baie dankie en baie sterkte vir julle verder. Dit is dan Joe Beek, die kaptein van die Griffons. Ons gaan ook gesels met Charles Blom, 'n baie gelukkige Charles Blom hier van Griquas. Sjoe, Charles 19-0 voor en jy moes seker gedink het nee wat hierdie wedstryd is veilig in die kassie.
Ja, ek dink dis wat ons gedink het. Jy weet as jy die bal hou, as ons die bal hou is ons baie gevaarlik, maar jy weet as ons die bal afstaan is dit moeilik om te speel. So alle krediet aan hulle het baie goed gespeel.
Rustyd 32-19 agter. Wat het julle in die kleedkamer vir mekaar gesê?
Ek dink ons het geweet as ons die bal hou is ons 'n moeilike span, veral as ons groot pak kan laat vorentoe speel, dan is ons in die wedstryd. En dit was ons wedstrydpatroon om hulle in die hoeke te druk en dan met die pak hulle te domineer. En ek dink in die tweede helfte het dit bietjie beter gegaan en gelukkig het ons hom deurgetrek.
Ja, en julle het ook heelwat veranderings in die span aangebring, heelwat vars bene het julle teruggebring in die tweede helfte sommer vroeg en dit lyk vir my het ook gewerk. Dit het julle patrone toe beter gewerk.
Ja, ek dink hierdie hele reeks gaan wees 'n squad effort. Ek dink nie die 15 ouens op die veld, maar die hele 22 gaan vir ons hierdie ding doen.
En julle is baie tevrede om vir 3 skols terug te hê?
Ja, Skola maak 'n groot verskil. Sy krag en sy ervaring wat hy nou opgedoen het by Noord-Transvaal, Currie-beker gewen en maak 'n baie groot verskil.
Charles, baie dankie, baie sterkte vir julle verder. Dit is 'n baie harde reeks hierdie wat voorlê. Daar is hy Charles Blom, die kaptein van Griqualand Wes. Wel, hier lê nog baie rugby voor. Onthou volgende Saterdag natuurlik die toets in Durban wat ons ook vir u regstreeks gaan bring op Supersport. Hier lê baie rugby voor. Interessante rugby. Ons hoop u hierdie kuier vanmiddag saam met ons hier in Kimberley geniet. En namens die hele span groetnis uit die Diamantstad.